people united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people united won't fall.
This is for America!
Shut the fuck up!
Yep. All right.
You know what the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you! This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee you, a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done.
Believe me when I say
We can break this army here.
it has made us brothers.
I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time. You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
Cut out their living guts.
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time. Seize the day. Never surrender.
Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
All right, let's fly! My name is the Lord. When I
Tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera up. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go! My name is Brian, that is Shane. Welcome to The BRANE Show.
Ooh.
How you doing, brother?
Love that intro, man. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm having a great day. Today is a great day because, as you guys know, everybody who celebrate, first off, happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Okay. If you're watching and you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. This world would not exist without you. Today is a special day for my family because I started a tradition 17 years ago today where I take my kids out to basically buy gifts for my wife. So this is the 17th anniversary of what we call M Day. So it's a great day. We go and have, dinner and then get gifts. Now all the kids are grown and they don't necessarily enjoy doing it, but I make them go. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
What you doing for Mother's Day?
I got my wife a gift, and I woke up super early to clean the house. My wife is Mexican, and today is actually Mexican Mother's Day. And I believe that.
Wait, why is Mexican Mother's Day the day before?
I don't know. It's a racket.
Do they get 2 days? So yeah. Mexican mothers get 2 days.
If you're Mexican, at some point there was some abuelita was like, you know what we should do? Let's do a Mexican Mother's Day specifically for Mexican mothers. Like, oh, okay. And let's put it right before regular Mother's Day. So the entire weekend is ours.
It worked, by the way. It
worked. And 100% worked. So I got up super early this morning. I cleaned my entire house, or most of it. And after the show, I got more to do. I gotta basically I'm dedicating the entire day to getting ready for Mother's Day tomorrow, because when you're married for 20 plus years, that's what you got to do. You got to do that.
It makes them happy. Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat as you. Clean house, happy wife. I know it doesn't rhyme. It's true. All right, what are we talking about today, bro?
Well, we are talking about Kanye West, or Ye, or whatever he goes by nowadays. His interview on Piers Morgan, and his latest song on his new album, which is, like, I was about to say the word questionable. It's not questionable. It's absolutely horrible.
It's not questionable.
and the reaction to it on social media, like, you would think the reaction would be like, bro, no. But no, people are like, yo, this song is sick. This song slaps. Can we get a remix? And they're raising their hands and making the gesture. And
I'm assuming slaps means it's a good thing.
Slaps means it's a good thing, right?
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
You got to keep it.
So, like, the millennial Zoomer generation is eating it up. And I don't know if the guy is nuts or a genius, or I don't know. And maybe that's the point. I don't have an answer for Kanye
There's a
West.
fine line. There's a fine line between genius and
psychopath.
Crazy person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's walking that line.
He's walking that line for sure. And the thing is, he's made some really great stuff in the past. And no, I'm gonna stop. We're gonna get into this, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I was getting off topic. So we're talking about that. We're also talking about the Doomsday Pope prophecy. I was just on a stream with Odin, who is a storied Catholic, very devoted, and he told me that it's BS and it's not true. But I gotta say, Odin, there's a lot of people that would disagree with you, and we're gonna talk about it. And I have no skin in the game because I am not Catholic. So
right, neither am I.
President Trump has a candy addiction. And Rolling Stone wrote an entire article about his candy addiction. So we're gonna have to talk about that.
Keep it coming, Rolling Stone. Keep it coming. Me and you.
Yeah. Keep it coming, Rolling Stone. Keep spitting out slop that we can make fun of, please.
We're keeping the receipts, buddy.
Please. We're getting views because of how bad you are at your jobs.
I may spend an entire week beating up Rolling Stone. And listen, I want to thank all of you guys out there who've been supporting my little daily brain show, brainstorm, whatever the heck we were calling it. Who's been watching those clips every day. I appreciate it. Those will keep coming, by the way. So more content.
Yeah. Shane's been jumping on every day and doing brainstorms. I believe that's what we might be calling it. Basically, he's doing a clip, like whatever the most important news of that day is. He's breaking it down, 10, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And he's doing it every day. And I got to say, because I'm not 100% paying attention to everything the way Shane is, like, this is definitely Shane's realm. I'm more of like, I watched a lot of like fictional TV kind of guy. So I love that I get to turn on my own channel and watch relevant news
and learn something about what's happening.
And I trust that it's coming from someone who is not trying to spin it. There's no like agenda. Like, this is the real information. It's pretty great for me. So I hope that you guys watch it. So he keeps doing it, so I don't have to actually go look for news anymore.
That's great. And thank you guys all who've been watching. And I know I've been seeing you guys in the chat, and I appreciate the support. It's a lot of fun.
Also, we're talking about My Pillow CEO. If you guys know who this guy is, he is a big Trump guy. And there's a lot there, and we're going to unpack it. But more important, his name is Mike Lindell. More importantly than him being a Trump guy is how I'm going to give you guys a brief history of Mike Lindell. What you can totally respect about the guy and his abilities, and the seemingly comedic level of errors he's made in the last 10 years, accumulating or hopefully finalizing, completing with this latest error where he used AI to write his lawsuit. I'm also going to show you a hilarious parody commercial that was made that he tried to sue the guy. It's a whole thing. And lastly, AI necromancy. What does necromancy mean, Shane?
Well, it means bringing people back from the dead.
Well, specifically, it means reanimating the dead.
Okay.
Which is
Yes.
why I use the term necromancy, and not,
It's a really good word for this story.
yeah. Instead of resurrection, I use necromancy because that's really what it is.
Yes, except in necromancy, you actually get the dead person's thoughts, supposedly. And in this situation, not quite there. But I won't give it away.
Yeah, we won't give away. So, and that's what we're talking about today. It's gonna be a great story, and I actually have a lot to say about most of this stuff. And I know Shane has an insight that is gonna be super interesting. So, before we get into it, though, if you want to support us, please go to this website right here. I'm gonna show you that website, mixtees.com or mxtz.co. Right there, you can just see it. You can see it. Someone said earlier, put the link on screen. The logo is the link, mixtees.com. Click on YouTube exclusives, scroll down to the BRANE Show, and buy something there. And by the way, I did not forget about the dragon logo.
I was going to ask about Dragon Lawyers.
Yeah, Dragon Lawyer. I know it's not up there right now, but it will be up there on Monday.
Can you show the little animation that you created? So if you watched my clip from Friday's show about the Pope, I went in and talked about actually. So we're going to talk about the Pope today, but we're not going to get into specifics because yesterday I did a whole story on the Pope specifically. But in that clip, we actually showed the Dragon Lawyer snippet from last week, and Brian added an animation, which is hilarious. So
where's the Dragon Lawyer? Oh,
if you get a chance later, and then we will have the design up. I really want that shirt so bad. I want to wear it. So
all right, here is the Dragon Lawyer animated. And by the way, this is their real logo. This is the logo that they used as the watermark, the full color watermark.
And you animated it, right? You animated
and I animated it. Here we go.
You helped them out. Good job.
Here we go.
It's awesome. Can't get enough Dragon Lawyers.
Yeah, the Dragon Lawyers. I can't turn it off now, bro. It's taking over my screen. There we go.
When you get a chance, pop up a little screen for me too. Oh
yeah,
Christopher Mays, Dragon Lawyers, approve. I love it.
All right.
Okay, so let's get it. Oh, by the way, just real quick, thank you to Kenneth LaRoque, who gifted 5 BRANE Show BRANE Show memberships. Thank you so much, Kenneth LaRoque. And we got some folks in there that got some free memberships. We need to figure out what we're doing for that extra content. Now that I'm doing breaking news, sort of, I think we need to probably retailor how we do the membership show. So perhaps we'll bring that back to after our live show, perhaps. Brian and I haven't talked about it, so don't get mad at me, Brian.
What?
I just said we're going to have to figure out, since I'm doing pretty much breaking news every day, and that was what our memberships were for.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So we're going to have to figure out a different way to provide some one-on-one communication or some content. So maybe we can bring back the show afterwards like we used to.
Right.
Yeah, okay. On Saturday. So we'll talk. We haven't talked about it, in all fairness to Brian, but we will do something.
No, we have not talked about it. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing right. I'm listening.
No worries. Yeah, so, a lot of good stories to talk about today, and the first one up is going to be Kanye West. And by the way, with Kanye West, I don't know what to call the guy. So, it seems to me like he's going down this road of, the artist formerly known as, kind of like Prince. So he doesn't want to be known as Kanye. I think he just wants to be known as Ye. He wants the West dropped because it's like his slave name or something, he said.
Right.
So I think it's all performative. I don't think he's serious about any of it. I think he is pissed off about the Jewish lawyers and the Jewish guys around him that maybe perhaps were taking a little bit of advantage of him monetarily. I think that he is truly pissed off about that. And I think that's what's caused him to go in this whole route where he's gone. This whole the thing with Hitler and the whole this route that he's going, I think, is based on his anger at those dudes for trying to take advantage of him. But I'm sure we'll get more into that.
Yeah. So let me let's actually talk about this. First, we're gonna give you some history. What happened in the timeline? It started off with the Piers Morgan interview. An interview is being very generous with the term because it was about 2 minutes, and we're gonna show you that right now, and then I'll keep explaining the timeline because the timeline of events is sort of nuts. All right, so here we go. Here's the Piers Morgan interview. Kanye West and Piers Morgan. And just so you know, the reason he gets mad, because it's not very clear, is because Piers Morgan accidentally dead names him. And then and then he's literally wrong by 1 million subscribers. He says like 32 instead of 33 or something like that. All right, here we go.
He was looking
You
for
should
a
probably
reason.
talk to somebody other than me. What followed, frankly, was a farce.
I'm getting you multi-tracks right now. I'm about to step in this interview, but I can hop back on in about whenever it's done.
That nuance right there, it's idiotic. It just shows the hate that you put out for people that put
the
love.
guy on the right.
There's so much love in
What
the
are
art
you,
that I put
with
out.
due respect, what are you talking about?
The dumb name.
You know what's funny? What's really funny is they tease the interview, and the tease is almost the entire interview.
Almost the length of almost the whole interview. That was pretty smart by Piers. Yeah, if you name yourself Sneeko, just note you're basically setting yourself up to look like a sneaky person or some sort of weirdo. And you look like look at him. He looks like a weirdo. I mean, things are not going well here, but he's friends with
My new nickname is Weirdo. You're like,
that would have been better. That would have made more sense.
So let's watch this interview with Kanye West, aka Sneeko.
We have to admit this is somewhat entertaining.
I'm gonna go ahead a little bit.
Moment, it's fair to say the head currently works to uncensored. Yeah, we haven't spoken for a while. How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't use the term West, you know, the whole drop the slave name idea.
Yeah. So you told me we should look up where West came from.
Yes.
It's not a slave name.
No?
No.
I gotta know.
So it's funny because he's saying I don't use the term West, but his social media still says Yay West.
It does, right?
Yes.
It's weird.
It's so interesting. Here we go.
Okay, so we just call you yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, look, when I last interviewed, we had a long conversation. And since then, a lot has happened in your life. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to try and talk to you about some of this. How would you say
Look at Sneeko.
your life is at the moment?
Sneeko's like really paying attention, and Kanye is like completely disconnected.
He's
And
like, I don't want to.
Sneeko looks over like, bro, are you listening to the question or?
Well, apparently it was said before this happened that apparently either the people who were setting up the cameras there or somebody overheard him say to Sneeko, hey, listen, don't be surprised if I just get up and walk away. So, yeah.
I feel like everyone working for Kanye is like living on this like bubble where they're worried that at any moment their lives are going to be ruined.
Right. That's true.
Like later on when we talk about the music video for the new song, I wonder how many of those guys knew that they were playing speeches from can you say his name? Can I say this guy's name? Hitler. Okay, whatever.
I mean, we're saying it. I mean, I don't.
In the background
happen,
while chanting. I wonder how many of them actually knew that was happening. And like after the fact, like, yo, hey Kanye, what the hell, man?
Yeah, because he's famous for not sharing exactly what he's doing.
Right.
So yeah.
All right, so let's continue.
I mean, you see that view?
Yeah.
When I first
Your
watched
life is
this thing, I was like, I was just as frustrated as Piers. You see that view? What?
Sneeko is like.
You see the smirk on his face? He's like, oh yeah, here it comes.
Here it comes. Yep.
Judge it on the view as the answer to how my life is. Judge me by the view.
Well, the view is Mallorca. I've been there. It's a beautiful.
Yeah, he's like, it's mediocre. I've been there. It's funny because like Kanye is acting like he's talking to like some dude that works a 9 to 5 down at UPS. Like,
yeah, he's totally talking down to him.
He's talking to Piers Morgan, who is wealthy,
right?
World traveler, celebrity himself. It's not like he can't afford it.
But in fairness, we got to give us a little bit of backstory here because Kanye West, fucking whatever his name is, that guy is not happy with Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Because what Piers Morgan has been doing is he's been trying to get him deplatformed off social media.
Right.
So this is something that Piers goes into a little bit, but I mean, listen, I'm not supporting this guy at all. But at the same time, he's been saying a lot of very free speechy stuff about Hitler and, Nazism, all that stuff. He's been saying all those things a lot. And he's like posting pictures of him in like a KKK outfit or something. It's like some crazy stuff.
Really testing the limits of free speech.
And Piers Morgan, who is not an American, and people from the UK, while they believe in free speech to some degree, they have a different take on how much free speech someone should have than Americans. And Piers does not agree that he should be able to do these things on that platform. And so he has been pushing to have him deplatformed. So I do understand why he's kind of jerking his chain a little bit and messing with him. I mean, he's not happy with him. He's trying to deplatform him. So there's more contention here than people realize.
Yeah, just so you guys know, like, while I like Piers Morgan, I also disagree with about 30% of what he says. Like,
yeah, I'm probably
we're clearly not from the same country because we have different ideas on if you should be able to own guns and freedom of speech and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he does believe in, he does to a big degree. I'm probably like 80-20 personally. I probably about 80 agree with him.
I feel like I'm closer to 60-40, 70-30, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Some stuff he says, I'm just like, that's stupid. So, but I also think he should be allowed to say them. Just because I disagree with someone doesn't mean they shouldn't be allowed to talk or share or have an opinion.
And you're right. And he's got one of the only shows that you can watch right now where he gets both sides talking. And while it's difficult to listen to sometimes because people are talking over each other, it does give you a pretty good picture of what both sides are thinking. And I got to tell you, I really appreciate getting all the information, even if some of it is I don't agree with.
Yeah, he has some people on sometimes that are just like, I mean, these are dumb people. Like, legitimately dumb people that I'm shocked that they have a platform and a following in the first place. And I'm almost annoyed that they're being given an additional platform on Piers Morgan because they're so dumb. And like what they're saying is damaging like society as a whole. But
go ahead. And that doesn't include, Gary from Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, both our friends, and they've both been on the show several times. I love watching them. I'm glad they get a chance to kind of give our perspective. I feel like they're representing us.
Yeah, I actually started watching Piers because Gary was on there.
Okay, and then right. And so Kenneth LaRook, and thank you for the super chat, Kenneth. He says for $2, Gary got kicked because of Kanye. I didn't hear about that. If you can give us a little more info, Kenneth, in the chat, that'd be awesome. Appreciate that. And
I think Gary upped his camera game too because he was going on Piers so often. Because his camera is way better than it used to be.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to upgrade my camera. That looks good.
Dude. All right, here we go.
Place, and for all intents and purposes, you seem very relaxed and happy. That is in direct contrast to your public image at the moment over the last couple of years, led by your ferocious... Well, hang on, let me finish the question. Led by your ferocious use of...
No, but I already disagree. It's not in contrast. There's so many people and artists that are championing the idea of someone being able to just express who they really are and have been able to go through the war of being attacked by the banks, being attacked, by the banks. That's the best.
The banks.
See, I'm telling you guys, he's mad about what his Jewish handlers, people who represent him, people who you give him advice,
his agents, his representatives, they were all Jewish, and they all abandoned him. Yeah.
And so they abandoned him, and they also
they
perhaps
they took his banks. Well, you know, in that song he says the Jews took my kids or something like that, and I'm like, what, bro? But then I was like, well, maybe like for a minute there I was like, the Kardashians Jewish? I'm like, no, but maybe their lawyers are. Maybe that's
he loves the Kardashians still, even Robert, who's gone. But I mean, we don't know really whether they took advantage of him or not. But he definitely believes they did.
He does still. He is still very much enamored with Kim Kardashian, his ex-wife. I've noticed every time they every time they bring up Kim, he talks about how much he loves her. It's sort of he might just be crazy, bro. Like,
I mean, sometimes people leave you, and you may not have wanted them to leave you. You know,
that's true.
This way to put it, being attacked by the banks and to still be here with this view is, that's the win. So I think I'm in contrast to your contrast.
Okay, but the point I was going to make is that I watch what you put out on X. You've got 32 million followers, so you're one of the most followed people.
See, wait. Now look right now. You're not going to take inches off my dick, bro.
Okay, that was really funny to me. The first time I watched that, that was a laugh out loud moment for me. I'm like, I'm gonna write that down so I can utilize that one day. Listen, bro,
it is.
Stop taking
it's a good
somebody,
comeback.
bro.
It's a good comeback, but it's also stupid and ludicrous, and he's looking for any reason to give him our time. Real quick, because Kenneth did put in here. So it looks like Gary and Drinker were on the show. They were told they might be booted if a special guest showed up. They were going through the first topic when Kanye showed up. Okay, I haven't seen that one yet. I'm gonna have to watch that one. So thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate the update. Awesome.
Thank you, Ken. All right.
Like, how many followers do I have?
Well, how many is it?
I love this exchange.
I think you could do the study. You got a whole staff over there.
I thought it was 32 million. How many is it? You obviously know.
I mean, no. I mean, don't help them out. You know, they.
I'm told it's 33 million now. So congratulations.
He's mad that he was mistaken by 1 million. From 32 to 33 million.
Mad though. I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think he's really mad. I think he's looking for something to leave. He's performing because or he's crazy. I mean, frankly speaking.
Right. All right.
Slightly bigger following than I thought.
No, congratulations. Your information is correct. You're not just some, dude trying to sub. I'm a gift, bro. You know what I mean? Why do all you people in media act like you haven't played my songs at your weddings or graduations or at funerals or when your child was born? You take somebody that's living like a Lennon, a Michael Jackson, and you just take all this time to just like that nuance right there. It's idiotic. It just shows the hate that you put out for people that put love. There's so much love in the art that I put out.
What are you talking about? I haven't said anything.
What are you talking about?
Piers is right. He has said nothing attacking or controversial or untrue whatsoever.
Right.
Not a single thing.
Well, and you see the thing he said about John Lennon and Michael Jackson. I mean, this is like he believes that he's at their level. I got news for you, buddy. Your music may be good, not my personal taste, but you're definitely not at their level. This performance art that you're doing this is what you're going to be remembered for. Right. Let me tell you what John Lennon and Michael Jackson remembered for. Their music. Michael Jackson got a little bit of extra in there, and John Lennon got a little Yoko Ono. But you're only going to be remembered for this if you keep it up. So,
yeah, just this. Like, this will be in history, like for sure. If he was going for legendary status, like he's made it.
Yeah, legendary crazy person.
Like he'll be in, at right now at this precise moment. If he died today, he'll be in history books as this character, as this person, and his entire run has been, like, to be honest, I guess legendary is the wrong word. I guess infamous is the right word.
That's a good word. Infamous, yeah.
For sure, he is infamous. Like,
yeah, that
not
is,
famous,
you're right.
infamous.
Not legendary, but infamous. Yes, you're right.
For
That's a good way
sure.
of putting it.
So he's already making it in history books. Like if that's what was his goal,
He doesn't know the difference between legendary and infamous.
Yeah, he
is
doesn't.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's dirty. Okay, now you're not taking accountability or responsibility.
Literally, you said it.
You know,
you implied I haven't played your music. Of course I played your music.
No, sir. This is what you get for now. We can circle back when you can count.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Where's he
Watch
gone,
Sneako's
Sneako?
face.
This moment.
Yeah, that's it for Ye. But it's
This
nice to meet
moment
you.
where he leaves and Sneako's like,
He's so uncomfortable, dude.
he doesn't know what to do. Like, should I follow you?
Well, and then Pierce just decides he's going to take out his frustration on this dude. He's like, "Oh, okay. Now I'm mad."
Yeah, this person that no one's ever heard of, ever.
And the next day, when Pierce was like talking about this, what happened, like at home on his own camera, he couldn't remember his name. And he's like, "I don't know, Sleeko, Snoopy, Snoopo, whatever that guy's name is. I can't remember his name." I was like, "Oh, dang."
That's so funny. All right, here we go.
Pierce.
Where's he gone?
I think he's just going back to work. There's several things he's working on. I was not aware he was going to leave like this.
We're going to talk about what he's working on.
I'm upset about the.
Yeah.
So it's all just a game, is it? Is that the idea?
Followers. Well, I mean, life is a video game, is it?
What, Sneako?
No, I just wonder what the point of this exercise was. Was he supposed to do an interview or not?
Are you supposed to do an interview? But I mean, the amount of Twitter followers, something like that, it's patronizing for no reason. You said his name incorrectly. You know his name is Ye. This is very public about that. Hopefully we could do it. I think this was good. We were prepared for a good interview. But come on, you know what you were doing.
What do you think I'm doing?
I think you were trying to patronize very intentionally by getting those two things, under his skin. Maybe it could have been about past interviews or because of what happened yesterday. But
that's what it's about.
This information is not that difficult to get right.
Yeah, we called him Ye, and we got his Twitter following count wrong by 1 million.
The delays
from
are
32
so
to 33
epic.
million. Also, for the record, you guys dicked us around yesterday, and you seem to find that very entertaining and amusing in your live stream, which I'm sure you will now.
What's that?
You kept all
think they're
my
in
crew
Spain
in
or
Spain
Portugal.
and here waiting,
Madrid,
and then wasted
maybe?
their time. And then you got us all back now, and you've wasted our time again. And you again may find that funny and entertaining, and that's fine. I don't. I think it's a total waste of everyone's time and effort and money.
Well, I mean, it is. I was ready for the interview yesterday, too. My time is important as well. Regardless if it was wasted, we have to admit this is somewhat entertaining. This is going to be laughed at by many people. It's
What's
not what I expected, but
entertaining?
that was funny. That's undeniably walking off right into the beginning of an interview is funny.
Yeah.
That's where Piers gets mad. He's like, "Oh no, that ain't funny at all to me."
It's not funny.
Out of interest,
You were subjective. I
Out of
guess.
interest, what do you do with him?
I'm working on several films right
He's like,
now.
well, recently I shot something where he was wearing a red armband, and I'm not.
And another thing where he was wearing a hood over his head.
Another one when he was wearing a hood. I'm not 100% sure what they symbolized.
There were holes, like a mask for the eyes to look out of.
I felt like I heard like German coming out of his studio. I'm sure it's something really artistic.
I think we had a bonfire. Very
Yeah.
possible.
And some black dudes wearing like Jaguar helmets or something.
We were making crosses out of sticks, but I don't know what he's going to do with those later. I don't know. He was learning to ride a horse last week. I'm just not sure exactly what's happening here.
I am
We could keep
streaming out
doing this, by
here.
the way.
I'm editing.
Yeah, we can.
And I work on
The waste.
things
The rest
behind
of this is
scenes,
mostly a waste,
some
bro.
inspiration for art. I'm just there to
I just want to hear what he
try
said.
to help fulfill his vision.
Well, let me
and
ask.
also
Well, let
work
me
on my
ask you
own
the
too, and
questions I would have.
Can I help fulfill his vision?
Now,
this
here's
is
what
what's
to ask
funny.
him.
He said this, and then the next day, he dropped his now hit music video. HEIL HITLER.
Yeah.
Where a dozen black dudes in animal skins and jaguar masks are screaming and chanting the words while the infamous dictator of World War II Germany is behind him giving a victory speech.
So crazy.
Like, I don't.
You got to show that
I
image.
don't
Or you
know.
gonna show that image?
Yeah, we're gonna show part of that. I'm not sure if this dude knew that within 12 hours of this interview that was happening.
You know, I don't think he. Well, I don't think he knew exactly what was coming. Honestly,
right?
There's no way he would probably be sitting here still. He would have got up and walked off with Kanye.
Right. All right. So that's the interview, pretty much. There's not much more to that. There was a reply from Piers Morgan that I thought was legitimately funny. Let me show you that reply real quick. It was on X.
He actually did a couple. You don't usually see Piers Morgan shook up. He's pretty calm in the face of stuff, but you can tell this really made him mad. Not only did he talk about it for several days in a row, but you could see him physically getting upset over being jerked around by Kanye.
And this is the tweet. Someone tweeted, "What Sneeko and Ye just did on Pierce is historic for free speech absolutists. If you have ever been fired from a job or kicked out of a group for something you said, you owe them a thank you for battling on your behalf." And Pierce was like, "They literally ran away from me asking them questions."
It was historic cowardice. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's right. Like, so that was a gimmick. And I think that's why I say, like, there's a fine line between genius and crazy. Because you got to look at the marketing of this, right? This went viral the day before that video dropped. Like, it feels like it was a planned thing. Like, it wasn't just.
It probably was. I mean, we won't know, but it feels interconnected for sure.
Right. And I don't think Pierce was in on it.
Of course not. He's upset.
All right.
So let's see the release.
So there was a video that dropped. Now I want you guys to understand that we have to be like super careful. We are not allowed to
play it.
We're not going to play it. I'm going to show you screenshots.
Yeah, let's see the video. Whatever.
I want you guys to know that there are certain words you can't say on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that HITLER is one of those words. We are reporting the news, so I'm hoping that we have a little leeway there.
Thin line.
We definitely can't play the song. We don't want to get demonetized a fourth time. Because it would.
We just got monetized again.
We just got remonetized. This would be a fourth demonetization for something that we haven't, that we should be able to say. But we do need to report on it. This is like, again, infamous. This is historic. So there is a video from another creator, and I feel like the easiest way to show this is to show like parts of his stream. Now, this is what's happening in the video. Oh,
but you can't play the sound at all.
I'm not going to play the sound at all. I'm muting it.
Okay.
So this is the video. And in the video, there's a bunch of African-American dudes. They're dressed in like animal skins and like wolf heads and whatnot. Like they look very tribalistic.
And throughout the entire song, they're repeating HH.
Right, HH.
HH. So you guys know what that is, right? So
right. Well, actually, it's N-word and then HH.
Yes, N-word, then HH through the entire song.
It's like the worst 3 words you can use.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they are chanting it. And there comes a point toward the end of the video.
Hey, you see that guy right there with his face? Like, the guy's like, you got to wonder if they all showed up and went, and in the middle of this, they're like looking around going, dude, what are we doing? Like, what? These guys who are in.
Right.
What are we doing here?
So yeah, what if they're like, hey bro, hey, Kanye, bro, yeah, what's up, man? What are we saying? I mean, like, listen, bro, like, bro, I trust you, but this seems like pretty anti-Semitic. Like, is there like an artistic vision here? Why are you wearing a red armband? Can we talk about that real quick?
You know what that symbol means, right? Okay.
Bro, that weird drawing you have, it looks like a swastika. Is that what it is?
And listen, you don't usually have a mustache like that. Why is it so small and short?
Bro, why are there German words coming from your studio? Can I get a full mask? Like, the guy next to me, his entire face is covered. My face is clearly visible, bro.
They're gonna know who I am.
Right. I don't know how much these guys knew. And there was a tweet where it was like, what if the guys didn't know they were chanting N-word HH? What if they thought they were saying like N-word something that rhymes with HH?
What if these guys are just in the video and they actually never chanted anything?
Well, I mean,
and their faces,
but their mouths are making the motion as if they're saying something at the very least similar.
Right. What I'm saying is what if they didn't and they're just like the face for this? Oh man, there's going to be some hell to pay later.
Right, dude.
No, I was saying bigger, and then I was saying fail Fittler.
Bigger
That's
fail
not what I
center.
said.
Bigger fail. I don't know. So this is crazy. So when they finally are done chanting, the speech that the dictator from World War II
gave
is being played underneath it. And here's the crazy part. So I'm a musician. I play multiple instruments. I compose music for all of our videos. I love music. I have a music channel. You guys have probably never seen it. You know, not few people have. I make music. I make multiple genres. I've made rap. I've made rock. I've done orchestra, cinematic. I love music. I gotta be honest with you. The music on the track is actually really well done. So when people say this is a super catchy song, I'm like, yeah, it sort of is. The words are horrific. However, it's well done.
Well, we'll say in your opinion because everybody has different musical tastes.
I mean, I'm saying the composition is objectively well done. Maybe you don't like the music itself, but like the composition, where everything lines up, the timing is very well done.
Got it.
So I'm listening and I'm really hoping like I'm later on when I'm in the shower, I'm not going to be like, no. You know what I mean? Well, I'm watching the reaction, and this is the reaction, you guys. The chat in here is blowing up. And I know Shane doesn't know what this means, but the 0 / that means respect in streamer chat, right?
So 0 / means respect. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
It doesn't.
Oh, you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. It makes 0 sense.
And the chat is blowing up. And look, they're saying the words.
Oh, my Lord.
And spamming respect, blowing. I mean, you're talking about thousands of people, Shane. Thousands of people. Thousands of people that are enjoying this song. And here's the crazy part. Okay, by the way, look at the streamer. He's doing the "my heart goes out to you" thing.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it. The thing is, this was not a self-contained stream of a bunch of like people that thought this was awesome.
I'm surprised it's still up.
Well, it's on X.
Was this on YouTube? Oh, okay, it was on X.
No, this was on Twitch initially, and someone recorded it for X. The thing is, this is not self-contained. A lot of young people really like this song. And I really wish I can show you the comments under the YouTube videos, but I can't because why, Shane?
I don't know, actually.
No, you told me. You said the comments are all deleted.
Oh, you're right. The videos were deleted. Yes.
Yeah, the
The
videos
videos are there no more.
Every video I sent Shane, I said, go watch this video and look at the comments.
Look at the comments. They were all deleted.
Every one of them. They've all been deleted. I did the research and I was like, I'm going to come on. I'm going to show you guys all these videos and these reactions. But I can't because YouTube deleted them. One reason why they deleted them, besides the content of the song itself, some of the thumbnails just said straight up had a swastika. Some of the thumbnails straight up just had the words HH. And more disturbingly is that the comment section was insane. It was all insane. Like insane promotion of this particular theme. And I'm all about free speech. But like I don't like that there are Zoomers that think it's awesome to chant this.
Well, I'll tell you why it's this way. It's the same thing, and I think we may have either talked about this before, or you and I talked about it. You know, World War II is so far removed from today's generation. It's like Pearl Harbor for us. It was just like, yeah, they tell us that thing happened, but it really didn't have meaning. It didn't, you know, when Pearl Harbor happened, at least in our generation, there was no sense of, you know, pride or feeling of pride that, you know, of something we felt like we were a part of. And the kids who are born today have the same feeling about, you know, that World War II evil guy. They're being told that they shouldn't like him. They shouldn't say these things, but there's no experience behind it. I mean, at least we experienced a lot of the racism of the 70s and early 80s and kind of have a better understanding. And you know, I kind of got to watch, you know, society change and us become more, you know, less racist over time. Now it seems like we're entirely racist, but the generation now was grown up being told that we're all equal. So they don't see what the big deal is.
Right.
And I think that's what's happening here. And the reason why we're getting this response, plus there's no accountability for what you say on social media. You can do and say whatever you want. And this is going to be a big blowing up point, I think, between multiple generations. It's going to be interesting to see. And you got to think of it this way. I went to a concert with my son recently, and the young people, they chant every word of every song, like loud throughout the entire stadium.
Right.
Wait till he does this one in his next concert.
And that's what I was worried about. Like, so I believe I am a free speech absolutist, just like that guy said. I also think there's a difference between like free speech and just being like, I want to be offensive because I'm a douchebag. Which, by the way, you are totally free to be offensive because you're a douchebag. And Pierce is free to kick you off a show, just so you know.
Yeah, and platforms are free to remove you if, you know, because they're companies, you know, they can do that.
And we've said this before, the biggest problem I had with free speech is that the platforms, their trust and safety people are not being ran by reasonable.
They're not fair.
Yes, they're not fair.
They're not fair.
It's people that think it's a dozen people that all think one way, and no one is there on behalf of the other side. And that's my problem. The rules should be equally applied, whether you're left or right or libertarian or from freaking Mars. I don't care. The rules on your platform should be applied evenly across every political ideology. Additionally, aside from being applied equally, the goalpost and the rules should not change midstream, midweek. And if the goalposts do change, if the terms of conditions do change, they shouldn't be changed just to alienate one particular person or ideology. And they shouldn't be applied retroactively. So if we came out with videos 10 years ago that were fine then, and you change the rules and all of a sudden we lose our platform because of those videos, that's not how rules work. If the rules of the game change, then we should be allowed to change with them. And those rules should apply fairly across all ideologies. That's our problem. I have no problem with a platform deciding whether or not to allow someone to speak on their platform, as long as they're applying those exact same rules to other people that are on the opposite side of that particular ideology. And that's
100%.
the problem with most of these social media platforms, is they don't apply the rules fairly, and they change their terms to alienate people they don't like.
If they don't agree with.
They don't agree with. They're playing favorites. That's when I say that's a problem. I am a free speech absolutist, but I'm also free speech for the companies that are running platforms. You're allowed to decide what the rules are. Just make sure that if I follow those rules, you don't change them in 2 months to get me off the platform.
And the government should make it so, and this is another big, this is all tied into this, monopoly laws. So monopolies are bad. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody loves Google. Everybody loves Amazon. Everybody loves these companies. They've been allowed to become monopolies. And when you have monopolies, now we don't have a choice. So now we all go to YouTube because nobody else has a fair shake to become equal to YouTube, because they've bought up all the companies who were giving them competition, and the government didn't stop them. So now it's even more important that there's fairness in the rules, because there is nobody else to go to. It's like my electric company. I have to pay whatever they tell me because there's only one. So monopolistic rules, there just needs to be some sort of fairness across the board for everybody.
Yeah, the monopoly thing is that's actually almost a bigger deal, because if the free market exists, then you can decide whether or not you're going to spend your time making videos on YouTube or Rumble or whatever. But in reality, even though Rumble does exist, 98% of the market share is in one place.
Right.
That place was bought by another company that had 98% of the search marketplace. And those two things combined make it not a monopoly on paper, but in reality, a monopoly. Which means, just like your electric bill, I can't really choose to take my electricity somewhere else. People go, well, you can go to Rumble and do it there. Dude, they have 3% of the views YouTube does. So yes, I can go to Rumble and I can speak into the fucking empty air, and 3 people will see that video, maybe 100 if I'm lucky, because you have to be part of like the club on Rumble to get any kind of promotion, because their algorithm sucks.
And the reason why Rumble only has 3% is because YouTube got so big.
Right.
There was no competition while it was young.
Yep.
That it's impossible now to create competition at this point.
And that's the problem.
The problem with monopolies.
It sucked up all the it sucked up. So it's not by definition a monopoly, but it might as well be.
Right.
And just like your electricity company, you can't choose whether or not they're doing a good job. Oh, I'm not going to stay with you because you're not serving me properly. No, you either have electricity or you don't.
Right. And then when you type into your web search, Google Chrome, I want to watch a video, guess where it's going to take you. So, I mean,
yeah, it's not taking you to Rumble.
Right.
Right. And I love Rumble. I love the fact that Rumble exists. There's another platform that is attempting to compete with YouTube, but people compare Rumble and YouTube to David and Goliath. Can I tell you something, guys? It's more like an insect to Goliath. It's not a boy with a sling with God on their side. We're talking about,
doesn't have a chance.
As far as numbers are concerned, you're talking about a mouse to Goliath with no opposable thumbs. I'm not saying they can't survive. Maybe they do. But it is a long shot. At least David had a chance.
It's a good point. It's a really good point. Yeah.
And I hope they do. Don't get me wrong. I hope they do. But just look at the numbers. Dollars to dollars here. Like the odds of them succeeding. Like the only way they're going to be succeeding is if they get that's what they're doing. They're getting exclusive contracts with streamers that have been banned from YouTube. That's how they're going to succeed. They're going to get the Dr. Disrespects and the Steven Crowders and all the people who are too hot for YouTube. Too hot for YouTube.
Well,
they're going to put them on Rumble, and that's where the platform will come from. But then you foster an ideology that is one way, and you limit your marketplace.
Well, it's a long game. It has to be the long game. So they go from an insect to a mouse, from a mouse to a dog to a boy, to eventually, and hopefully over time, the other platform can erode to give them enough ability to throw their rock with their slingshot and knock Goliath down.
Yeah.
So it's an uphill battle for probably the next 10 years. They're going to have better technology on their platform. There's a lot of things that need to happen in order for them to have competition, and that's exactly what the problem is. So,
yeah. But I'll be clear. We are free speech absolutists, 100%, and we hope that Rumble succeeds.
Yes, even disgusting free speech.
Yeah, even disgusting. Yeah, whether I hate what you're saying or not, you do have the right to say it. Period. The end. All right, let's talk about the Pope thing.
Well, let's do the super chats first.
Super chats. My bad. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate you, bro.
I'm here for you, man.
I'm here for you. Starting with Kenneth the. Oh no, you already did that. Well, Kenneth the Rogue for $2 says Gary got kicked out because of Kanye. That's true.
Yes.
Unfortunate. Although Gary gets a lot of shots at Pierce, so he'll be fine.
He'll be back on a lot. They're the go-to now. Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker are like his go-to for anything Hollywood or movie related. And
I gotta say, Gary's camera, Nerdrotic's camera, looking great. Bro, Drinker's camera is looking like straight booty.
I'm gonna have to ask Gary what he's using.
Gary's camera looks fantastic. His audio is clean. It looks professional. Drinker's camera looks like this, you guys. Ready? It's like this the whole time. This is blurry as hell. Like there's no he's like, well, I don't know, Pierce, because you're like, dude, fix your camera, dude. What the hell?
Well, when you're dropping 1 million views of video, I don't think he cares.
I know, but like, I guess you're right.
It's like he doesn't. That's not his normal shtick.
Same with like Grace Randolph. Like I'm always like, how do you have millions and millions of followers and you still haven't replaced that one mic you bought from Office Depot in 1996?
Right.
Please, dude, please get better equipment. All right. Thank you, Ken. John Yulden, my Stargate buddy, says, "Have a great show, guys, for $1.99." Thank you, John. We are doing Stargate streaming every Sunday at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. And what we're doing is we watch a couple episodes of Stargate. We stream it for free on Discord. You can watch along with us. There's a timer and everything. And we basically talk about the entire show while it's happening. Think about it as you hanging out with your friends, watching TV. That doesn't happen anymore. And John and I were like, you know what? It should happen. We have the technology. So every Sunday at 12:30.
We can build it.
We can build it, and they will come. So listen, yeah, come check out that on John's channel tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, my dudes. Also from Yoron Falth. I'm finally saying his name right after 3 years.
Good job. After all these years.
He sends 20 SEK. I forgot what that was, and he just says the words "gay fish."
Oh yeah, that's the that's the Kanye likes fish sticks from South Park. Yeah.
Yeah, that was South Park went after Kanye West for liking fish sticks, and the joke was he says, "I like fish sticks." He goes, "You like fish sticks?" "Yeah, I like fish sticks." "You like fish sticks?" "I told you I like fish sticks," and that was the joke. And they made a song where he came out of the closet as a gay fish.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. That came out in 2021, I think.
Kenneth the Rogue, for I don't know why I'm not putting these super chats on the screen. I apologize.
Do it.
There it is, gay fish. And Kenneth the Rogue for $5 says they don't even have the bent cross on model kits anymore.
Yeah, the German symbol. Yeah, yeah. People just don't want to have nothing to do with it, Ken. They don't. Kenneth, who's a great model builder. Yeah, absolutely strange that. Well, not strange, but
can I say I don't agree with that? Like we shouldn't hide history because it's offensive.
What they don't want is they don't want the smoke. They don't want people going, well, look at this thing I just bought from this company that's got this. They're just trying to avoid the smoke, man.
I understand, but I think that's dumb.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but as somebody who has no skin in the game, I get it.
Yeah, but if you're making historically accurate model kits and
agreed,
and your company is about being historically accurate to this model, then you should have the cross. And if you get smoked, they'll be like, "What do you want us to do? Create historically inaccurate models? Pick one." You know?
I'm with you. You just have to have somebody with the intestinal fortitude to want to fight it.
Yeah, someone with some testicles. Yeah. Speaking of which, have you ever played Wolfenstein 3D?
I have not.
No, back in like the late 90s.
It's like the German soldier game or whatever.
Yeah, so basically, you're killing NAZIs. You know,
I'm terrible with first-person shooters. I don't play them too much.
It's fun. Well, in that movie, they did not shy away from any of the imagery, and to be fair, you were killing it the entire time, so it works.
Yeah.
Also, there's been a lot of those, but Wolfenstein was one of the famous ones. Also from Fook You Ferro. Fook You Ferro.
I think it's just great, the super chat, so we can say his name.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way. Fook You Fat Ho. I appreciate it. He says, why is people high beam if you drive at speed limit? I don't understand.
What does that mean? Why is people high beam you if you drive at the speed limit? So he's probably saying people are hitting their brights because you're driving the speed limit. Yeah, because there's a lot of impatient assholes out there that can't just, drive the speed limit anymore.
To be fair, there's also a lot of assholes that don't know you can make a right on red.
Yes.
That don't understand the concept of it. Like they don't.
Well, that's because they haven't been in the country long enough to know that's a rule here.
They also don't know that you don't have to wait for the entire both sides of the street to be completely clear before you can turn into a lane. And they'll sit there and you're behind them and you just watch like 12 car lengths go by of no traffic and they're just sitting there nervously waiting.
What are they waiting for?
Just to turn right or left. They're waiting for traffic to the point where where you desperately want to just go around them because they're so slow. There are people that just don't know how to drive. They're either hyper cautious, they don't know the rules, or they're so much in a hurry that
what's helping
that you can't follow the rules and still obey the speed of traffic.
You know what I've done that's changed everything for me about this? I just assume that they're mentally handicapped. And then I feel pathetic for them. I'm like, that person must be really hurting right now. And I'm just going to have some patience and let them, have some mental retardation into that right turn. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Oh, man, it drives me nuts. And, dude, my biggest pet peeve is when I need to make a right on a light. And I'm driving, right? There's a guy in front of me. And I go to get my right-hand lane. And he sees an opening because there's one car length difference between him and the light. And he goes and he turns in front of me, gets to the light, and doesn't turn.
And goes straight. Yeah, I know that's your big pet peeve.
And he makes me wait at the light.
Southern California problems, folks.
Christopher Mays did say Wolfenstein was the first FPS, and that is true.
He also wants to hear you sing country music. So just heads up.
One day I will. And it's all about how I lost my dog, my house, my car, but I still got my truck.
If you play it in reverse, though, you get all those things back. So it's good.
Right. All right. Guys, we need to talk about the prophecy of the popes. I don't know why I said it that way.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because, people are obsessed with end of times prophecies. Like it's something like Nostradamus and like the book of Revelations. You just, am I here? Is it happening now? And I guess that's what this is, right?
And we're going to be brief with this because we're not Catholics. And I don't want to if I'm going to offend someone, I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm not going to accidentally offend someone.
Well, you can't offend somebody with facts. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. You absolutely can.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be offended with facts. And if you're watching this show, you're probably in the wrong place. So
here we go. There's a pretty famous prophecy. It's called the prophecy of the popes.
Yes.
And it's by Saint. For a second there, I thought I said malarkey. Malarkey.
Malachi.
For comedy, I'm going to say malarkey.
But it's Malachi.
Yeah, from the prophecy of Saint. Is that Malachi?
It's Malachi.
We have nephews that
we do.
Malachi.
It's spelled differently, but yeah.
Well, he says that Pope Francis may be the very last pontiff. Now, notice this. He was referring to Pope Francis, the guy who passed away and then was replaced by the American Pope recently.
The new Pope.
The newest Pope. The new Pope. Well, this prophecy said, is this the last Pope? But if you look at various people on Reddit, guess what, guys? It's the last Pope again. And
of course.
I tracked this back, and almost every single time there's a new Pope, there are people saying that it's the last Pope.
It's like that guy with a sign that's like the world's going to end in 2021, and then there's a cross out, and then it says 2022, cross out 2023.
Right. So here's the actual prophecy. The prophecy of popes is attributed to Malachi, which is claimed to predict that there will be only 112 more popes before the last judgment. And here's the interesting part. That number actually can change depending on where you think he started the number, which is very interesting to me. The best doomsday prophecies are ones where you can sort of always fit it into a narrative, you know?
Yeah.
If you have enough confirmation bias. So, Benedict Arnold D. Wyan discovered and published the so-called Doomsday Prophecy in 1590. Most scholars consider the document a 16th century elaborate hoax. James Weiss, a professor of church history at Boston College, has stated, it's widely thought, given who the author was and his relationship, that the prophecies were published to establish the case for election of one particular cardinal. So what people think is that they came up with this particular doomsday prophecy to push the vote one way away from someone who could be confirming the prophecy.
Right. So they basically created it because somebody else wanted to be Pope, and they knew this would help him make him Pope. So the prophecy, he used the prophecy to get the other people to believe. And they said this was written several hundred years before, but the first time it's ever brought up, I think, is in like 1587. Was the first time it's ever mentioned. So just before this happened.
1590, right. The funny part about this is there are groups of people that actually believe in the prophecy of the popes, and that Pope Peter of Rome will be the last pope. Well, what's interesting is, so this pope is not Pope Peter, but for a minute there were like 3 Peters running as the next pope. So what's really funny is that every single time there's a new pope, there's always a couple Peters in there of Rome.
Of course. Yeah.
Which always sparks the next revolution, I guess, of people claiming this is the last pope, it's the prophecy of popes, et cetera, et cetera. I went down the rabbit hole, and there are people that legitimately believe this. And it's interesting. You can go look at their post history and see like 8 years ago on Reddit where they were saying the same thing about the pope before. It's almost like they don't remember their own posting history.
Right.
It's really
give the actual. So do you want to give the actual? So here's the actual verbiage for the supposed the future, right? So it's in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit a bishop, Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations. And when these things are finished, the city of 7 hills, Rome, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. So that's the prophecy.
All right. Yeah, remember, a lot of these prophecies were set back in the day when the Roman Empire was at its highest. Like, even the Revelations prophecy in the Bible, the Antichrist and all that, there are parallels between the Antichrist and Nero. And even there's even parallels between like the 7 heads and a lot
7 hills of Rome. Yeah.
Right, and the 7 hills of Rome. A lot of Christians see this visual representation as like legitimately, like there's a dragon, there's locusts, whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But more than likely, and by the way, I'm Christian. Okay, like I'm a Christian believer. But more than likely, a lot of those prophecies were veiled ideas for real life things during the Roman Empire, because Christians were being killed and they couldn't actually say what they wanted to say. So they veiled them in things like 7 dragon heads and the locust and all this stuff so that Christians would get it, but the Romans wouldn't understand. And we took that hundreds of years later as like, there's going to be a dragon that comes out of them, you know, like really, it's like visually
blasphemous.
Right.
Blasphemous, these things you're saying.
Well, I'm not saying, look, you can be Christian and still understand that historically some of these things were parallels to what was happening at the time. And you know that the Bible was put together by people. And people throughout history decided which books were going to be in the Bible. And so that doesn't mean that they're right necessarily all in the right order. And I'm a believer of the Bible, but I'm not necessarily a believer in everyone's traditional interpretation of certain books of the Bible.
All right. Tomorrow, tell your father that.
I've already told him this. He thinks I'm nuts. Him and I don't agree on everything, you know? Yeah. But to be fair, there was a time that our father thought the earth was like 7,000 years old. Remember?
Oh yeah. He went to the mat on that one.
But we convinced him otherwise. Now he does. Now he knows it's probably not the case. That's quite literally impossible.
That's a tough one.
Well, and his ideology, the way he thought was actually didn't make any sense logically. He was like, well, every day is 1,000 years to God. So, and God created the earth in 7 days.
Blink of an eye is 1,000 years to God.
Right, blink of an eye. Yeah, right. Yeah. So we explained, like, wait a minute. So your math is wrong on how long a day is to God. Also, even if it was 1,000 to 1 days, then what you're saying is it took 1,000 years, 7,000 years to make the earth. But since then, there's been a lot of history. So
that's true too. Yeah,
the math is wrong. Like everything. I think once we explained it to him, like respectfully, like he has definitely changed his position on the young Earth theory.
Yeah,
because I am a Christian, a believer who goes to church, who believes in Christ, all that stuff. But I also think that the idea of young Earth is insanity.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, there's some strange, there's science is science. I was approached by a Scientologist yesterday who was unrelenting in allowing me to go about my day until I finally said to them, I said, listen, the only way that I'll agree to meet with you about this stuff is if I can meet Tom Cruise. Would that be possible? And then they finally left. So, yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to get to me. I'm sorry.
Dude, one time I had Jehovah's Witness knock on my door.
Mm-hmm.
And my kid, is like a couple years ago. My kid's like, Dad, there's 2 kids at the door and they're wearing ties. And I'm like, yes.
I don't have time for that.
My kid does not know what that meant. She just sees 2 young people wearing black ties and white shirts, and she's like, that's odd. I immediately fist bumped the air. I said a word to the big guy, thanks for the entertainment, and I went to the door immediately, dude. And I want you to know, what I did here, I'm not proud of, but I still laugh at myself in hindsight.
Okay.
I grabbed tinfoil, like aluminum foil, and I wrapped it around my head like a hat.
Oh, nice.
I just had like it wasn't like a pointy hat, like conspiracy. I just wrapped like a bowl on my head, like wrapped around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Took off my shirt, and I opened the door.
That's actually pretty normal for you.
And I opened the door, and I was like, "What's up, guys? What's up?" Hi, sir. And they started their spiel. I'm like, oh.
You got to give the Mormons credit. Nothing's going to scare them off.
And here's the crazy part. In the past, they've always wanted to come in to tell me more. I was like,
not this time.
I was like, hey, you guys want to come in? Because I'm not sure if it's safe out here. And they're like, Well, not right now, sir. We can leave you some documentation. The first time ever, they decided that I was too dangerous for them to approach about saving my soul.
Well, you can look kind of crazy. Imagine if you'd come to the door with like a butcher knife and like blood dripping down from it and be
No,
like,
I didn't want to be obvious. I was trying to like make it so I seemed like I made them uneasy, but not obvious that it was a joke. And oh my God, I was dying. They actually did this thing where they backed away from the door. They didn't turn around and leave. They gave me their watchtower or whatever flyer, and then they slowly backed out, smiling and nodding. Like they didn't want to turn their back on me.
I don't blame them. Yeah.
It was so funny to me.
In all fairness, Mormons are really nice people, though. I know a lot of Mormons.
Incredibly nice, yes.
They believe something I don't agree with, but they are super
I don't
nice.
know if it was Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses. I forgot which one it was, to be honest.
Oh, wait. So you were talking about Jehovah's.
I think it was Jehovah's Witnesses, actually.
Yeah.
Not Mormons.
And Jehovah's are really nice people, too, by the way. Just, I don't agree.
I mean, it could have been Mormons, I guess. I guess I just
No,
assumed
it was. It could have. Well, you normally Jehovah's. They come in a pair.
Yeah, it was two like younger dudes.
You're going to run into Mormons in a foreign country. They go on mission.
So it was Jehovah's Witnesses then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, it was funny, really funny, and I've been waiting. I think I must be on a list because it's been like 2.5+ years since they've come back to my door, and I see them walking around the neighborhood sometimes, but they never come back to my door.
Surprise.
All right. What do you want to talk about next? Trump's candy addiction or the MyPillow guy?
Real quick, let's grab this this other super chat by your favorite name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it. All right.
And then we can talk about your choice today.
This is from Fook Yu Faho. He or she says, "Did you see the Democrats body slam ICE agents? What happened?"
Yeah, so I've been following the story, and it is very interesting. The Newark mayor was arrested, and there was an incident basically where, and I'm probably going to do this story Monday morning if nothing happens later today or tomorrow. But essentially, yeah. So a bunch of some representatives went to this ICE facility where they were bringing in some people that were going to be deported, and they essentially were challenging them. They wanted to inspect the facility. They brought a bunch of protesters with them, and essentially the ICE people said, "Listen, you got to leave. If you want to come back, make an appointment. You can inspect the facility, but you can't just show up here and like demand this. So you got to go." They refused to go, and then they got arrested, and then it turned into a kind of a bit of a melee. So yeah, probably going to cover that on Monday.
Okay, cool. I just realized something. Christopher, God bless your heart, my dude. God bless your heart. Christopher asks, "Is there a stream tomorrow on Mother's Day for SG1? No, there isn't. Oh my God.
It's a good thing you remembered.
I'm running on autopilot. John, I hope that you're not getting this information right this minute, but there is absolutely no way I can do a stream tomorrow. You guys need to understand something. I am married to a wonderful woman. Wonderful. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's educated. She's got like the street smarts that just allow her to like navigate the world in a way that most people can't. I am so lucky to be married to this woman.
This is the clip you'll show her, by the way.
But she is Hispanic, and she gets scary sometimes. She will lose her mind if I think for a moment that I'm going to disappear in the middle of the day on Mother's Day for 4 hours to watch Stargate with my friends. So that guys, that's not going to happen. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John. I completely forgot to mention that. But over here, that Mother's Day is a pretty serious holiday, especially with the Mexicans. And I'm trying to keep my genitals attached to my body, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, that's an "Am I the Asshole" Reddit post, by the way. That you'd have to go and post that if that was the case.
Am I the asshole on Mother's Day? I decided to leave my wife and watch Stargate with my friends on a live.
I love reading those, by the way. I love it. It's fantastic.
Why is it like 90% of the time I'm like, yes, you're 100% the asshole?
They wouldn't be posting it if they weren't.
Right. That's true. Thank you for that, Christopher. And thank you for the super chat, Fook, you fat hoe. I think the Democrats, there's some Democrats that are doing this whole immigration thing as a way to counter their opposition.
That's 100% what it is.
100%.
Yeah.
And they don't really they're not really as impassioned by any of this, right?
No, they're anti anything that Trump does. Period.
Right. But there are some, Shane, that are legitimately like brainwashed.
Oh, no, 100.
And
That's
they
true.
see ICE agents as World War II bad guys with red bands, and that they are Schindler's List. Like,
oh, you're 100%
they
right.
are the hero of Anne Frank's story because of how horrible President Trump and the ICE agents are at trying to secure our border. There are people that believe that wholeheartedly, and they see us as like Nazi sympathizers.
Well, they believe that because the people that they trust, the news media and their representatives, are telling them that.
Right.
That's why. I mean, listen, I hate to say it, but there's some really, really smart, like genius level people, and then there's some like really stupid people.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got a whole spectrum of dumbasses to pretty smart folks, right? And if you're a dumbass, you might be in a cult. I'm just saying.
Right.
So it's really hard for some of these people, and unfortunately, I feel like I'm constantly fighting them on Twitter. And if you're interested, by the way, I am the brain at. I can never remember what our darn handle is.
You're talking about BRANE Show handle?
Yeah, at BRANE Show. If you want to follow us on Twitter,
yeah,
I'm having like fights all the time with people, so it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying. So Shane and I, we do share this Twitter account, but I never use it because I'll be real with you, I'm actually more interested in watching Shane's interactions than me interacting. I'm actually getting a kick out of it. A lot of the people that I would just call a dumbass and continue on, Shane will actually elaborately explain as to why they are a dumbass. And it's so satisfying. Follow this account, guys, at BRANE Show, and enjoy the absolute decimation of retards.
With regular common sense.
With tact.
It's just common sense.
You're not calling them names. It's all very nice, but
Yeah,
it is a third degree burn half the time. It's like, dude, get that guy to a hospital and you know what's funny? These people are so dumb and so brainwashed and just so brain dead that you can respond in a way that completely refutes every point they made in every instance and show without a shadow of a doubt that they are not only wrong but stupid for thinking so, and they will still come back and say,
I know that. Yeah. Well, what I hate is the outright lies. Like they just say something that's a lie, then they post information that's just absolutely not true. So that's probably what's fueling me, and I'll continue doing it to try to shine some light on some nastiness.
Do it, bro. Do it.
Kenneth LaRoque, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Ken. Speaking of that ICE thing that happened, that was more of a January 6th than January 6th was. That's a really good point, Ken. People are, they've really gone after the January 6ers who went in to try to stop. And listen, and I don't agree with what they did on January 6th, but I also don't agree with what these fools did. And I also, part of me believes that January 6th was fueled by potential bad folks inside three-letter agencies to make that situation even worse. I mean, I don't hate to go to conspiracy theories, but since all the evidence has been destroyed, it really makes me wonder what happened there. And this ICE detention facility, same thing. If you want to assemble peacefully, okay, and that's what America is all about. The moment you start demanding that you get to be somewhere, that you get to do something, and you start breaking laws, that's when your shit isn't going to get backed up.
Right.
So you're wrong in all those cases, and it's not what America's about. It's not what I fought in wars for. I'll support your right to burn the flag, because that's your right as an American citizen. But the moment you do some dumb shit and break the law, I don't got your back. I'm sorry. So
yeah, facts. All right. Let's talk about My Pillow, Shane.
Okay.
Mike Lindell is the owner or the CEO of My Pillow. Mike Lindell, I believe, is a good guy that has overcome a lot of hard things in life. He was an addict. He had a lot of issues, and he was able to overcome these things with programs like 12-Step and with church, and he built his life in a way that was able to make up for his past mistakes. He started a company called My Pillow that sold a pretty good pillow. That's simple. It's a good pillow.
Sorry.
It's a good pillow for a reasonable cost. It's not bad.
All right. I've had a few.
And he made a ton of money. And then in President Trump's first term, he became enamored with President Trump to the point of suicidal support. Okay. And he put it all on the line. And then on President Trump's second election, in his bid to get reelected, when he lost, Mike Lindell did not take it well. And he was convinced that the election was rigged, and he went out of his way to try to prove it. Now, there are ways you can say the election was rigged, in the way that the media treated Trump, and the way that there are a lot of ways you can say it was rigged without
the Hunter Biden laptop.
Hunter Biden laptop.
Expression of that, yes.
Things being hidden, stories being suppressed, platforms swaying the algorithm. Yeah.
Deplatform people, right.
Yeah, for sure. You can say it was rigged with all those variants. Was it rigged at the polls? No.
Well, at least there's no evidence of it.
Anybody
has, right.
So I can say it was rigged in the way that he lost because there was a cabal against him, along with COVID, there's a lot of crazy conspiratorial things that are just fact. Go ahead.
And I will tell you one thing that's very strange is that Joe Biden got more votes than any person in history has ever gotten for an election, like by a lot.
Right.
And that right there is like a weird red flag.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, but there is no evidence. There's nobody on film.
Right.
There's no evidence.
There is the red wagons, and there is like these, like they're covering up the windows so that the vote counters can't see in there. They're counting mail-in ballots. There's a lot of weird stuff. But is there like evidence that the polling machines were like hacked or messed with? No. Right. Mike Lindell, though, was convinced that the polling machines were 100% compromised, and he held a contest. The contest was, if you can come up with proof that these voting machines were compromised, you get this much money, right? It was like $5 million. And if I'm wrong on some facts here, guys, then let me know in the chat. But it was a bunch of money. I think it's $5 million. Well, some guy who, by the way, was a Trump supporter and a coder came up, showed that the evidence that the things were not hacked. He said, if you can come, the contest was, if you can prove to me that these weren't hacked, you make $5 million. And he proved it. So Mike Lindell owed him $5 million. Mike Lindell didn't want to pay that $5 million because he did not agree.
He's like, what? Didn't see that coming.
So this is what happened. And stay tuned because there's a commercial I'm going to show you at the end of this that's really, really funny. What happened is Mike Lindell had to start going to court for a lot of stuff. For saying, libel against the voting machine companies, for not paying vendors, for not paying the guy that proved that it was wrong, for so many things. Well, what happened was recently, Mike Lindell's running out of money. My Pillow's not doing great. He's not getting the sales he was getting before. And I don't think that you should not buy a pillow because Mike Lindell likes President Trump. I think you should not buy a pillow if you don't like his pillows. And
I don't like his pillows.
And if you like his pillows, you should buy his pillows, regardless of his political opinions.
I've tried them many times, and they're just the stuff inside moves around too much.
Yeah, I do like his pillows, but I also am not going to spend $30 for a pillow. So,
well, 2 for 100 and something, as you'll see.
Or whatever it is. Yeah, it's I'm not going to spend that much money as it takes. I can get a pillow at Target for like $18. So, anyways, this is what happened recently. He's in the middle. He lost his attorneys left. His lawyers that he had for MyPillow at their heyday are gone. So he had to hire new attorneys. And the attorneys he hired decided to utilize AI to write their legal briefs. And of course, it's riddled with mistakes. One of those mistakes being, as an AI chatbot, I cannot. One of those typical answers where it's trying to generate. And this is what it says in the article. Lawyers for MyPillow CEO. Now, these are the new lawyers, the ones that he can afford. They're obviously not the best. Lawyers for MyPillow CEO and presidential election conspiracy theorist Mike Lindell are facing potential disciplinary action after using generative AI to write a legal brief, resulting in a document rife with fundamental errors. Of course, the lawyers did admit to using AI, but claim that this particular mistake was primarily human, which is more embarrassing if true, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, we did use AI, but the AI part was right. It was the human part that's wrong.
Well, it's probably more like, yeah, we used AI, but we didn't read it to see if it was right or not.
Right. On Wednesday, an order by Colorado District Court Judge Nina Wang, cool name, noted that the court had identified almost 30 defective citations in a brief filed by Lindell's lawyers in February 2025. Signed by attorneys Christopher Kakaroff and Jennifer DeMaster of law firm McSweeney, Sinkar, and Kakaroff. Such a horrible name for
McSweeney, Sinkar, and Kakaroff.
Can I tell you something? This was Lindell's first mistake. He didn't hire the Dragon lawyers.
He should have hired Dragon lawyers, 100%.
If he had hired Dragon lawyers, it still might have been thrown out, but it wouldn't have been for AI. It would have been because of the giant purple dragon.
It would have been on brand too,
right?
Which is cool.
It finally is part of whatever. So so this is the Dominion voting systems lawsuit. Now, dude, Dominion voting, they don't play around. People that complained about their machines, whether it be Fox News, other news outlets, Mike Lindell, like they straight up just sued them for defamation, and they won across the board. So either the machines are totally good, and everything they're saying is bullcrap, or they have really good lawyers that filed those lawsuits in the right places to get the right judges.
Yeah, they got $800 million, almost $800 million from Fox.
That's a lot of money
in the lawsuit. $800 million.
Yeah. So another quick thing to note, it says the lawyers say that they had been unaware of any errors or issues with their filing and were caught off guard and unprepared to explain themselves when initially questioned by the court. So they admitted to using AI, but then said that AI wasn't where the problem was. It was the human error. But then also said they were unaware of any errors and were caught off guard. I think these dime store super cheap lawyers just used ChatGPT to write the legal briefs.
I think you're probably right. Didn't bother to copy edit it.
Right.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
They probably are trying to knock out as many as they can. Say, listen, we need to make $100 an hour, which means this needs to take about 2 minutes. So,
right. Yeah. We need 2 minutes tops. Right. Okay. So I did want to end this story by showing you guys what Mike Lindell looks like. And I found this awesome commercial. It's a parody commercial of Mike Lindell by Zebra Corner. And you got to see it because it's just too funny. Shane, you ready?
I am. How much of this can we show without having to pause?
It's a YouTuber.
No. God damn it. Not today.
I'm going to back up so you guys see it. All right. So it's him getting up in the morning and he goes to the mirror.
No. God damn it. Not today. Honey, The My Pillow guy broke into the house again. God damn it.
Looks like you're not sleeping well.
Yeah, Mike, I'm not sleeping well. Maybe because someone's been smoking crack in a weird void in my house again. Also, are you the one taking my prescription pills?
That's right.
God damn it, Mike, I need those.
And I'm here to help you get the best sleep of your lives.
Mike, please, I'll buy a pillow, whatever. Just please get out of my bathroom, okay? I have to go to work. Honey, will you give me the credit card so I can buy another fucking crack pillow for Mike?
The reason he's saying crack pillow is because go ahead.
It's pretty clever editing. You know,
look here. This is an actual commercial, and he
Right.
split it down the middle so that he's still standing in the room next to them.
Yeah, it was a clever edit, but you know, I would argue whether this guy's actually funny or not. But it's definitely pretty good.
The reason he's saying crack is because Mike Lindell had
He had a drug problem.
He had a drug problem.
Yeah,
Down
which
pillow.
yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I get he's trying to be funny, but the dude did clean up his life. It's kind of I don't know.
Yeah, I respect Mike Lindell for what he was able
Hard to
to
do.
accomplish.
Hard to do what he.
Wait, how'd you get out of the walls? I told you, honey. I bet it was him that took the toaster.
Here's the problem
Look
with
at that,
down
editing is
pillows.
clean.
You lay there, you feel comfortable, and guess what? It goes down. So this pillow's no good. And I see you sleeping on memory foam.
Yeah, so?
I'll show you what's wrong with that idea.
Okay, fine, whatever. Just hurry up.
Sleep's all about too high or too low, and I'm going to show you where your comfort level would be.
This is a good edit.
What the fuck, Mike? You're way past comfort levels, Mike.
Right, that's better, but I'm not going to sit and hold this all day.
Yeah, Mike, that's because it's upside down, pal. You see? You see the small little side there? You know what else helps me sleep? Not having a grown man in my bathroom.
So every morning you're getting up like, you know, it's not good.
What the hell, Mike? God damn it! What the hell, Mike? What are you doing? Please leave, Mike. You know what's not good, Mike? Selling pillows for $120 is like a buy one, get one free.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. Guys, go watch the video.
By the way, that is true. When he cuts this thing open and all the memory foam, that's the one thing I don't like about the pillow.
Guys, go watch it. It's the channel is called Zebra Corner. It's My Pillow.
It's an older video. It's like 5 years old.
Yeah, it's old. It's a good video though. It's funny. All right. I get a kick out of that video every time.
That was great.
All right, man. Let's talk about what do you want to
Let's grab the super chat from Rec Thoughts really quick.
Thank you. I keep missing them. I appreciate that, bro.
I'm here to support. I don't do much, but you know.
Rick Thoughts for $5. Thank you, Rick Thoughts. It's been a minute since I caught you live, but sending love, guys. God bless, friends. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Rick Thoughts is actually a filmmaker and a very good editor at that. You guys go check out his channel out too.
Awesome.
What do you want to talk about next? The candy addiction or AI necromancy?
Wow, we got 2 stories left still. Let's end it with the candy story because that one makes me angry. And let's go back to back AI really quick because this one's kind of weird.
Is it the candy story?
No, let's do candy story last so I can rip.
Okay.
So we can go out of here on a nice angry note.
Okay. All right. So this article is family uses AI to create video of deadly Chandler road rage victim's own impact statement.
Yeah.
This is so creepy. Okay.
It's pretty creepy. And I think there's some real questionable stuff here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, here's this byline. There's no other known use of AI in creation of victim impact statements. So first off, I don't agree with this. However, I did, and we're going to watch the video, but I did want to address that I actually have done this for families that have suffered loss.
Well, sort of, not to this level.
No, but for their funerals, I have
Right.
not them talking.
You've animated them.
But I've taken their likeness and I've animated them for their funerals.
Yes.
And the not just to mess with people. To be clear, I was asked to do it. Okay?
No. And it's actually kind of a nice. I think that's actually kind of a nice thing, although a little bit odd. But this takes it really a step further. Instead of just being able to see the person, now you're giving them words you think they might have used.
Right.
Which is not necessarily what they would have done.
So when I did it totally in a way to celebrate the life, the reactions were all over the place. Some people cried because it was something that reminded them of them and it was so brilliant. Other people were just straight up mad that it was happening. So I can only imagine the people involved in this hit and run accident with this AI recreation. So what they did was they recreated basically the victims and what that person would say in a courtroom, which how in the world is this? What judge would allow this to be evidence?
Yeah. Well, apparently they actually talk about it in the article, but apparently there's some sort of law that says the family gets to choose what sort of thing they use. So it's definitely very questionable. But because I think the message they had him deliver was what it was, I think is why they allowed it.
And you'll hear. I want you guys to know, I know I muted it. This is not even good AI, if I'm being honest with you. Because
I was convinced.
I mean, Shane, look at
I'm
his
a version
beard.
of Chris.
His beard is not moving. Only his mouth is, right?
Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen my AI. Like,
yeah.
That looked real.
Yeah, yours is better for sure. But I don't have a good attention to detail like you do, so I didn't notice that the first time around.
In my voice profile, I was able to be digital.
Also, there's a lot of skips, like gaps. The voice profile itself is not very good. Like if you've ever seen any of our Shane AI videos, like it sounds like Shane. Like the cadence is off sometimes, but the actual voice itself does not sound robotic like this. It's almost, this guy sounds like, it sounds very much AI, very much robotic, with maybe a little bit of the tenor this dude probably had in his voice. So it's not it's a bad recreation of his voice. It's a bad recreation of AI, and I think that it's not fair to it should not be used in court. And I'm not going to play. You want to hear more? Okay.
Well, I mean, let's hear the part that the family shared.
This is the part
generated to share with you today. But here is insight into who I actually was in real life. Take a look.
All right, I'm Chris Pelkey. I served with the United States Army in the infantry.
That's the real person.
From upstate New York.
Yeah.
And I went to...
I would like to make my own impact statement.
This right here.
So, hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. It means a lot. I can't tell you how humbled I am for those that spoke up.
First off, this is not his impact statement.
Right. It's what his family thinks he would have said based on his beliefs. But here, if you hear what he says, perhaps you can understand why.
Okay.
For me, everyone who flew in, took off work, those who are watching this remotely, and for everyone who has supported my family and loved ones through 3.5 years and 2 trials, I wish I could be with you all today. To your honor, Judge Lang, thank you for making yourself available to see this case to the end, especially when the rescheduled trial conflicted with your daughter's spring break. Thank you for listening to everyone today. Thank you for reading the flood of impact statements that came in before today that so many people wrote on my behalf. Every single one of them is meaningful and gives a glimpse into my life with each of them. To Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances.
I hate this so much.
In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do. To my family and everyone that I've met along the way.
Stop it there. And, yeah, go ahead and give your opinion. I just wanted them to hear what he said, so go ahead and tell me what you think.
Yeah, no, even if the message is like to forgive the guy that killed me, whatever, like this is going to set a pretty bad precedent. We should not be utilizing, first off, someone else's word. Let me go back to first one. Someone else's words, calling them their words, and then the emotional manipulation of utilizing AI to attempt to recreate a shitty likeness of that person to manipulate the emotions of the people in the courtroom. This time, maybe it was used in a way to forgive the dude. Sure. But what happens next time it's used to sway a jury or to convict someone? This is not this should not, AI should not be allowed anywhere near court. Any artificial intelligence in general, whether it's a legal brief from Mike Lindell or a crappy recreation of someone's likeness, should not be in any courtroom ever.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the next argument, right? And I think what you're saying is right. I think the reason why they allowed it is because he was saying that he forgave, as opposed to, saying I condemn you. Now, this person in a road rage incident he just shot this guy, killed him. He was so angry over what happened. They got into basically a fight and he shot him and killed him. And he received, as a result of this, what's interesting is the state was asking for 9.5 years. The judge gave him 10.5 years for the guy, which, it could be argued maybe that's not long enough for killing someone. But at the same time, I think you're right. You're opening up the door to so many different strange possibilities. Like, they're going to use this next time somebody wants to do this. They're going to use this case as precedent. And then they're going to say something like, something condemning the person, which then could make their, could really sway the verdict, whatever is being said. This wasn't done as a result of a verdict. I believe this was done at sentencing. So, but that could add extra years.
I mean, it looks like it added an extra 1.5 years to the guy's.
It seems like it swayed the judge. And did you notice the AI kissed the judge's ass and said, "Thank you for, I knew you had your daughter's thing that you had to reschedule." I'm like, dude, that guy, like, why did you have his AI voice say that? That's weird. The family did that. It was just strange. But
yeah, it says the state asked for a 9.5-year sentence. The judge ended up giving him a 10.5-year sentence for manslaughter after being so moved by the powerful video. So the guy is going to spend an extra year. Now, listen, I don't care about the piece of shit that killed this guy. Screw him. Spend another year. I don't care. But I do care that the judge admits to giving the guy an extra year because he was moved by a fake video. It wasn't even a real video. It's a manufactured video. Someone made that on their computer. And the words were was written by someone else and then used. This is not real. I love AI. Okay, Shane knows that. I create our own AI. Christopher Mays in the chat says, "Bring back Shane videos, please. Shane AI. We create our own." I love the idea of it. I love the concept. I love playing with it. We literally have one running right here behind me. I'm not against AI. I'm against AI when it comes to deciding human rules, human laws, and someone's potential punishment, or conviction in a court. Don't do it. Doesn't belong anywhere near a court.
I'm really surprised they gave him manslaughter. I mean, I don't know all the reasons. I didn't hear the whole case, but he got a manslaughter instead of a murder. I guess because there was heated emotions as a result of what happened. But, you got to be responsible for yourself.
Yeah. Seems to me that he probably should have gotten murdered. I mean,
like I said, I didn't see the whole case. I don't know what this guy did to him. Maybe he did something overt. Maybe he threatened him in some way. I don't know.
Right.
But just a little thank you for the sticker here from E. Clay Thomason for 99 cents. Thank you. And he gives us a nice big smiling poop emoji.
Nice big smiling pile of shit.
Right. It looks very nutty. I just want to say.
Very nutty. You're definitely eating your fiber. Anyway, I appreciate it. And of course, Christopher Mays, bring back Shane videos, please. Yes.
Thanks for being a member for 19 months, Chris. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks for everybody who's been patient with us about getting member content. We'll discuss it and have a decision for you by next week what we're going to do.
Yes. Christopher says, Brian, you say all this, but the AI you programmed is kind of a dick. It's not my fault. It's based on Shane. To be fair,
it's just my face.
Shane's voice, the voice for the AI was literally trained of hours and hours and hours of high quality audio, raw audio files. So if it picked up Shane's like various, douchebag inflections, it's not my fault.
Yes, and the fact that you added the word douchebag to the description when you had it do it, yeah, I guess that.
Okay, dude, let's talk about Trump's hardcore candy addiction.
They're so desperate to tell bad stories about him. It's like crazy. I mean, listen, he already says enough shit that makes you go, God, dude, President Trump, why'd you gotta say that? Or he says things that he just probably shouldn't say, but he's not. He can't be stopped. He can't be controlled. He's an old man, and as we all know, most old men exaggerate and use hyperbole and all this stuff, and he does it all the time. The last thing we need to do is make up some sort of weird, stupid ass story about him. So, up yours, Rolling Stone.
This is from Rolling Stones. The headline reads, "Did you like Tootsie Rolls? Inside Trump's hardcore candy addiction." Here's the byline. "As the president creates one constitutional crisis after another, he's also been consuming an insane amount of candy," per a White House official. You know what I hate and love about every one of these Rolling Stone articles? Every time they have these insane stories, it's always per a White House official, per a White House staffer. Never a name, never anything but the most general possible job description, which means that there's no way to confirm if this is real or just made up bullcrap.
Well, and I doubt. Well, here's the thing: it's probably not made up. I do think he is a candy guy because he doesn't drink, and he's always kind of said that candy is his alcohol. But the fact that they have to trump it up so much, they're taking and twisting this to make it like that it's some sort of a negative, bad thing that's happening, which is the weird part. I mean, it's candy, guys. The guy's almost 80 years old and he can still eat candy. Congrats, you never got,
dentures.
You never got, what is it?
Dentures.
Well, not dentures, but like, blood sugar problems.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats, you never got diabetes.
Right.
So, it's just such a dumb story.
Here's the article. This is what's so maddening about this. Since the start of his second term, President Donald Trump has been busy triggering constitutional crisis, setting due process and other basic rights on fire, rocking the U.S. economy with a trade war based on horrifically bad math,
By the way,
wielding the Justice Department and other agencies to target his political enemies. Go ahead.
This isn't an opinion piece.
Right.
Like this is supposed to be hard journalism. Go ahead.
And bringing a level of lawlessness and corruption to the federal government not seen since, well, maybe ever. Oh my God. First off, you.
Well, keep reading. It's even worse. The last line is the worst one. Go ahead.
Right. All while his lieutenants work around the clock to grant him the authoritarian powers of a mad king. Oh my God, this guy is such a douchebag. This is written by Asawin Suaj. How do you say this? How do you say his name?
Subahing. I don't know. Hey, Rolling Stone, why don't you get back to writing about music? Lola. Just terrible. I hate this publication.
Dude, I want to know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Who cares?
Asawin Suaj.
Sounds like they should be super chatting us, honestly.
Yeah, there he is. It's that guy. So this guy has way too much soy in his diet. He looks like an 11-year-old trans boy. But it's probably just a regular guy that has never eaten meat in his entire life. Let's be real.
Listen, I'm okay if you want to pump out facts and then let people question, decide how they want. And trust me, Trump puts his foot in his mouth enough to give you things to criticize about him. But when this is what frustrates me when I'm on social media, when I'm trying to fix you and correct you, is when you're taking advantage and twisting it to make it even worse than it really is. And that's what he's done here.
Yeah, no, this guy is a massive douchebag. I don't believe that he is actually a journalist. I'm going to say journalist in quotes because I read a bunch of his stuff.
You mean activist?
Yeah, I read a bunch of his stuff, and the journalist is not his job description. His job description is activist. I believe either he is purposely misleading his readers because he is just evil, or he is so brain damaged by society and the left and just lack of protein that he truly believes these things. And for his benefit, I almost wish that he's just a villain. This is not the first article he's written. Somehow he is actually a senior political reporter at Rolling Stone, even though he looks like he's like 13. I'm not sure how you get the title of senior political. I'm not saying he's senior in the sense where he's like a senior, but how do you get such a huge job description when there's no way you've been working for that company for longer than a few years because of his age? He's literally in his 20s.
Oh, Lord. Well, he knows nothing. So
he's a child, bro.
Yeah.
He's essentially a child. And he's basically halfway between millennial and Zoomer. And he somehow holds a position of a senior political reporter, which it makes zero sense to me. You can find him on Twitter, Shane. I'll send you the link. So you can
don't worry, I'm going to.
So you can go troll him.
No, I'm going. In fact, I'm going to post his post what an idiot story this is in a second.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not really about his candy. Here's the deal. I don't care if the guy likes candy. That's fine. I like candy too. I think it's probably better to have a candy addiction than to be an alcoholic. So if he would rather eat a Tootsie Roll than drink a glass of Chardonnay, then I don't see a problem with that. I'm not even sure what the point of the article is other than to get a headline so you can then dump on him about everything you think is wrong.
Yeah. Basically make him look like a fool, and basically somehow intimate that he likes candy too much, and therefore it makes him like equivalent to an alcoholic, and that it impedes his judgment in some way. Very strange article.
Yeah. There is a note in here. It says, during both of his administrations and his presidential campaigns, 7 sources attest Trump has ensured that there is plenty of candy surrounding him. In his 2 presidencies, he has aides keep bowls or baskets filled with various types of candy. Tootsie Rolls, Reese's, caramels, Lifesavers. Insert generic candy brand here. Around the West Wing, at times there's a bowl or basket of candy right outside the Oval Office, and he'll summon close aides to bring it into the Oval whenever he has a craving. Guess what? Who cares? Literally, no one cares. So. All right. That's it for that story.
I did find it interesting, though, that if this is true, and these are the candies that he likes, he's rocking these Reese's caramels, and I hope that his M&Ms are peanut M&Ms. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, out of all those candies, Reese's are my favorite. I would say Reese's, caramels, peanut M&Ms, and maybe Milky Ways. The rest of them, I don't mind the Starburst, but I can literally never eat another Tootsie Roll in my life and not care.
I've gotten to an age where I just can't eat those things.
Yeah, they don't even taste like candy, really. They taste like burnt sugar or something. Lifesavers, I didn't even know that was a candy. I thought that was something like a mint. Is that a candy?
Lifesaver?
Yeah.
You've never had a Lifesaver?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I have.
Oh my gosh.
I've had the mints.
Lifesavers got me through my childhood, literally.
So it was a Lifesaver. You're saying Lifesavers were
a Lifesaver? Yes, exactly. That's what they call it. I could not have survived as a child because we didn't have all these different candies, but it was like little tiny fruit mints, basically, instead of mint.
Yeah, I've never had a Lifesaver before, and I don't really care if I ever do. I do like Starburst though. My favorite candy, that is not based on a chocolate, would be Starburst jelly beans.
Those
something about them, dude.
They're pretty good, but you're going to get immediate diabetes from that. So
yeah. Listen, by the way, guys, I don't actually eat really any sugar, everything I drink is sugar-free, whether it be, Coke Zero, whatever. And I don't really eat desserts. My problem when it comes to weight gain is eating too much, like, meat, like beans, like regular food. I just need, if I ate less, I'd lose weight, but I don't. That's my problem. All right, we got a super chat from Kenneth the Roke for $5. He says, I have bought one Rolling Stone magazine in my life. That was in '83 with the cast of ROTJ on the cover. Carrie was in her metal bikini. Hell yes.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, listen, I never cared much. I sometimes a good, cover on a band back in the day that I couldn't, before the internet. Rolling Stone was interesting, but they're really pointless now. They're trying to get into the game. Listen, honestly, they're probably hurting for cash, so they feel like they got to go to this to pander to one side of the aisle. So
yeah, the only Rolling Stone magazine I ever purchased was back in the day. If you guys remember, that singer Jennifer Aguilera? No, Christina Aguilera.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, there was a cover that she did when I was like in my teens, and she was pretty much just wet on the cover, and I was like, I don't even know what this magazine, like what this article's about or care, but like I feel like I need to collect this. I still have it. It's in one of my drawers. And it was just like the most attractive I've ever seen a woman ever at that time, Since then, I've seen much more beautiful women. But at the time, I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. So this is the cover that Kenneth is talking about, by the way. That's the cover. Yeah. And, to be fair, if you actually had this original, not the recreated version, then it'd be worth like, at the time, it was at least about $2,000. So. All right. How old is Brian? No lifesavers? I guess their popularity dropped in the late 80s, early. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
I'm 43 years old, so I was probably candy eating age in the 90s.
Yeah, and to be fair, your parents didn't really give you much candy. So
yeah, my parents didn't allow candy or video games or television or anything fun.
Anything fun.
Pretty much anything enjoyable. I said, oh, you're having fun? That's not allowed. All right. We're going to wrap it up, my friends. Once again, thank you for all the super chats. You guys are outstanding individuals. If you want to support us and you don't want to give a super chat, then consider becoming a member. We are going to figure out what we're going to do for the members. We're going to figure that out very soon. So become a member and join us for that. Or if you don't want to become a member, say you just want to buy something cool, check out our store on mixtees.com, The BRANE Show. And coming up soon on that store, actually on Monday, is going to be our Dragon Lawyer shirts. And it says,
nice.
In a wreck, need a check, Dragon Lawyers.
You got to send me one of those, bro. I want one of those.
100% I will. That's it, guys. We're wrapping it up here. Thank you again for supporting us. And thank you for watching this whole time. You guys are amazing. Shane, anything else?
Yeah, and we really appreciate you guys coming. There's a lot of things to do on a Saturday. We want to thank all the salty nerd people for coming over and hanging out with us as well. And during the week, just keep an eye out. I'll be putting out those daily stories of news, and hopefully we'll see you again next Saturday.
We got a number. One more super chat from Mark. Less than 10 calories, baby, referring to I guess lifesavers.
That's right. I remember that ad. That's right. They were they just had a lot. They did have a lot of sugar, but yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, I guess that tracks. So you don't remember the commercials that kept bragging about less than 10 calories? So less than 10 calories, like per candy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I would eat the whole thing.
Yeah. How many candies are in a pack?
Probably 10 to 20. 10, 15.
Yeah. So it's like 200 calories then.
Easily, yeah. For sure.
Okay. So that's a misleading ad, right?
Well, I mean, it's true. You only eat one at a time. Well, what's wrong with you? Just eat one. You couldn't. They were too good. They were too good.
That's like someone giving me like one of those Reese's packs and being like, only eat one Reese's. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Once you pop, you can't stop, right? And what is
Right,
it,
right.
Right.
It was Pringles, yeah. Which, by the way, may be the worst thing. Next to Oreos is probably the worst thing you can eat. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Did you know they're not even like made by potatoes?
No, Pringles are potatoes.
Pringles. No. They're not. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's like this emulsion of like potato-ish flavor, and that's shaved. Yeah, it's.
I gotta say, the best mashed potatoes I ever had was when someone took the butter flavored Pringles and they just mixed it with some milk in a bowl, and I was like blown away. It was like legit the best mashed potatoes I've ever had in my life, and it was just some boiled milk with Pringles, and it was all mashed together, smooth as hell, tasted delicious, like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you weren't getting actual potato, but all right. No, it's all good.
Tasted like it. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. We're going to be out. Thank you so much. Shane, love you, buddy.
Love you too, man. Love you guys.
All right. See you later.
Take care. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.